suppose you are a surveyor in some local administration, and your duty is to count trees within some plot boundary. You visit the plot and make a survey. CAD department in your organization then converts your survey sheet to AutoCAD drawing. You already have some knowledge about AutoLISP and go to the software department and write a small AutoLISP function that can speed up the process of counting trees within the plot. The code you are going to see is just a start. Keep exploring, improve your code and add more facilities. Prepare the drawing for testing out code. It's advisable to create the drawing by yourself, but you can use dxf in command for importing the dxf file included with the source code.
First, draw the fence using polyline command. This is the polyline that represents the fence. You can overlay some plot image and draw polyline over the fence in the image. Trees will be represented by the circles. All these trees lie entirely inside the fence. They don't cross the fence boundary. And these trees are part of the fence. Some portion of them is inside the fence, some part is out of the fence. In other words, the circles are intersecting the polyline. And these trees are entirely outside the fence. Here is how to import dfx file using dxf in command. Let's run the code now. The code in the file first defines a function that returns a list of vertices of selected polyline. It then runs this function and stores the result in a variable named vlist, and then uses this vlist in the calls to ssget function. Run the code without debugging. After running the code, function getVertices is first defined and then run. The code is prompting user for selection a polyline, and that's why AutoCAD icon in the taskbar is flickering. Switch to AutoCAD and select the polyline. Let's see what the code is doing here. This line is calling getVertices function defined in the same file. This function prompts the user for selecting one polyline and returns the list of vertices of the polyline. This list of vertices is saved in the variable named vList. This line calls ssget function with two arguments. First is a string WP. This means window polygon. This tells to select all entities that lie entirely inside the polygon. And this polygon is defined by the list of vertices, that is points, provided in the second argument. ssget returns a selection set of all the features that are entirely enveloped by the polygon defined by the list of points in the second argument. This selection set is stored in the variable named entities. Next two lines are commented out and will not run. We shall run them later in this video. And the last line executes chprop AutoCAD command. It changes color of the selected entities to red. Try running chprop command in AutoCAD. You have to give the same inputs in AutoLISP code here that you provide in AutoCAD chprop command. Enter is represented by empty string. And the argument 1 is the color code for red color. Now, switch to AutoCAD and select the polyline as prompted. You can see that the circles that are entirely inside the polygon have now turned red. Now, comment out the line that contains WP and remove comment for the next line containing CP. Comments can be toggled either using the menu option or using the keyboard shortcut. Before running the modified code, make sure you run the undo command for bringing the color of circles back to the original color from red. Run the modified code now by choosing the menu option, Run without debugging. Switch to AutoCAD and select the fence polyline. This time, all the entities that cross the boundary turn red. All the circles that are placed on the polyline also turn red. This is because of the CP, that is crossing polyline argument. Before running the modified code, make sure you run the undo command for bringing the color of circles back to the original color from red. Now, run the third line of code. F option supplied to ssget indicates fence. That is, the entities just crossing the polyline are selected. Entities enveloped by the polygon are not considered. Explaining how the function getVertices works. there is C colon before the function name. This function can either be called by directly entering on AutoCAD command line or by enclosing C colon and function name in round brackets, in case you want to use it in AutoLISP code. Function is a group of code lines that are run together by just calling the function. We will run each line in this function in AutoCAD console for knowing how it works. VL_load_com is necessary for calling all the Visual Lisp functions. Visual Lisp provides more advanced and easy ways to do many tasks. All AutoLISP functions, starting with VL, VLAX or VLX, use Visual Lisp library, like VL remove if used here. VL_load_com doesn't return anything. Entsel function takes a string as an argument. It displays this string to the user and prompts for selecting any entity. We have copy-pasted the code line here in AutoCAD console. As we press enter, the prompt we provided as an argument is displayed. Select the fence polyline after you see this prompt. Entsel function returns a list with two elements in it. First is the pointer to the entity, and second is the point at which the entity was picked. This list is stored in the variable named ply. If you select the same polyline, but at different point, second element of the return list will change. Char function takes a list as an argument and returns the first element of the list. In this case, it will return entity name, as entity name is the first element of the list. Entget function takes entity name in the argument returned by char of entsel. You can see data of the polyline, like layers, all the vertices points, etc., in the list returned by entget. Entget returns the data of the entity, line, layer, color, line type, points in geometry, etc. This entire data of the entity is contained in the variable p data. You can see a nested list here. First element of each sublist is the label of data, and subsequent elements are the actual data. All the sublists, whose first element is 10, contain the coordinates of the vertices of the polyline. VL remove if accepts two arguments. First is the anonymous function defined by lambda, that defines the condition. And the second argument to VL remove if not is the list, from which items are to be removed. VL remove if works the opposite way, to that of VL remove if not. CDR function takes a list as an argument, and returns another list, with first element of the original list removed. Now, we will use mapka to operate CDR function on each sublist. Mapka runs CDR on each sublist of vertex list and removes first element, that is, 10, from each sublist. And mapka is the last statement in the function, so output of mapka is returned by the function. This is how mapka works. It operates the anonymous function defined in the first argument on the list defined in the second argument.
We have not yet covered debugging of AutoLISP code in VS Code. And the mission statement stated in the beginning was to count the trees, not just changing the color. This will be done in later parts. And the same facility provided here will be improvised, and some additional functionalities will also be added. Please subscribe to the channel for getting updates about newly added videos like this. You can download the source code used here by following the procedure mentioned in the video description.